Wanted to give you some encouragement today. You don't need more faith. Most of the time we feel like our faith is weak or our faith is small. We can't seem to get things done with our faith in our life. And you don't need more faith. The disciples, one time they came to Jesus in Luke chapter 6 and they said, "Lord, could you increase our faith?" They felt like their faith was small. They couldn't get things done. And he right away started talking about mustard seed faith. That's the faith, I believe, that you got when you got born again. The mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds there is. So Jesus pointed to that seed and he said, if you had faith as a mustard seed, you could say to this tree, be pulled up by the roots and planted in the sea, and it would have to obey you. And I don't know about you, but when I got born again, I got a supernatural faith that came into my heart. It wasn't huge, but something had changed in my life. And I was like, this faith is alive. Something is different. That's the born again mustard seed faith that Jesus was pointing to when his disciples wanted him to increase their faith. It's the same faith Paul talked about when Paul said, each one has a measure of faith. So your problem isn't that you need more faith, but one of the things that happens is we don't expect God to answer our prayer most of the time, or we don't expect to see supernatural change in our life. It says in Hebrews chapter 6 that we have hope as an anchor for our soul, and it also says to lay hold of hope. And you know, unfortunately, hope sounds like a weak word nowadays, right? I mean, that's usually when we say, hey, I hope you're feeling better. There's not much power in that. But this hope that's an anchor for our soul actually goes behind the veil to the inner place of God. I believe it touches the heart of God when we exercise that hope, that expectation. So I just encourage you today, expect God to move when you pray. You know, how many times have we gone to the doctors and we have like a bad knee or something, and the doctor says, all right, we'll take this medication 3 times a day. And we'll say, okay. But then we'll pray once and nothing happens, and we go, well, that didn't work. What if we began to expect that God was going to move on our behalf? What if we began to expect that God is going to answer our prayer instead of just hoping that he does? Maybe you just need an adjustment. You don't need more faith. You just need an adjustment to your faith. So I just want to encourage you with that. Exercise your faith and just believe that God is going to answer you. He's going to back you up. I believe he will. So be encouraged today.